Oh, g'day everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Things are a wee bit cold this morning. Snow at lambing time. Never much fun. It is very pretty to look at, I must admit. But, yeah. Would you want to be a little newborn being born outside in this? No, I didn't think so. That said, not one ewe has lambed overnight, which is bloody awesome. Oh, cloudy eye. And not one lamb has died. So, big win for the old Romney, eh? They're all literally over the bank there. There's a few of them around here, but not many. But, yeah, they know what they're doing. We better just leave them alone, eh? So we're just out here checking these triplet ewes for cast. And I thought there's probably no better time to show you what we're doing with them, because, yeah, a little bit different to what a lot of people might be doing. So we take them out at scanning, and we take them out, we keep them separate the whole way through. These ewes have got 3 lambs inside them, the rest have got 2 or 1. Sheep only have 2 teats, so 3 lambs are very, very hard for them to feed. And if they're running around in a big paddock with lots of other ewes and lambs, things go wrong, lambs go missing, they walk away with another ewe, and it just doesn't work very well. That said, also, with the extra demands on the body, they need fed better the whole way through. Very crucial to try and keep reasonable condition on them. We sort of struggled a bit there this year because they weren't in great nick going into winter, but they've come through pretty well. And then when we lamb them in these little mobs. So we've got a break fence here, and we've got 10 sheep there and 12 sheep there. So that side of the paddock actually grows quite a bit better because that way's south and this one rolls off a bit at the back, and the back side doesn't grow very well. So like I say, 10 sheep there, 12 sheep there, 12 sheep there, 10 sheep there. Same deal over in that paddock, although it's 12, 12, 12 and 11 because it's got a lot more feed on it. And then the same deal on that one over there, 10, 10, 12, 12. So yeah, it's not our idea, it's an idea we got off a mate down the road. And it works really, really well. He didn't split paddocks in 4, but he had 3 hectare paddocks to begin with, whereas these are 5s. So yeah, just cutting down that area they have to move around and making sure they've got oodles and oodles of feed, which, as you can see, there's plenty there. They won't get on top of this. They might take it down a wee bit before it starts growing, but look, these girls are in here currently at 8 to the hectare, which is roughly 3 to the acre for those that still work in real terms. Our twins are spread out roughly at 12 to 13, and our singles are probably more like 16. So to the hectare, not the acre. So they are getting fed quite well. Biggest win we've noticed from it is ewe condition. So our triplet ewes at weaning years ago, you could pick them going down the race. Sorry, that sun's quite bright in the snow. You could pick them going down the race because they were skinny. They just couldn't compete with the other ewes for feed. They had that much demand and milk coming off them, but also they were lighter when they lambed because even through the winter they just couldn't compete for feed with the other ewes. So that's a big win. Lambing wise, we've never managed to have the triplet ewes lamb at a better percentage than the twins, which I think, if you really dig into it, a lot of people claim some really big figures tailing triplets. I think most of them count the ewes down the race at tailing, and then the lambs tailed, which is a pup gloating figure. All lambing percentage figures that you hear from us are from ewes mated, or if we're talking about twin, single, triplet, it'll be from ewes scanned, but we have 50 odd ewes this year, and I think we had 2 ewes die between mating and scanning, so that doesn't really corrupt the figures very much. Yeah, the lambing percentage is not better than the twins, but it is better than if the triplets were in the twins, so big win there. But like I say, biggest thing is the ewe wastage. They're in better condition at weaning, which means they're better for the next season, and also we tend to lose less of them. We don't have the death rate because triplet ewes, yeah, there's a lot of stress on them. We don't want these. We hate having triplet ewes. We do look after them very well though because of the pressure they're under. If we could make all the triplet ewes twins, we would. but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. We don't get to choose. So just thought I'd show you that nifty wee bit of stuff we're doing here with the triplet ewes. We've been doing it for about 6 or 7 years now, I suppose, and yeah, it's been an improvement. So guys, back for another day, and yeah, it's not much better today. Snow will buggered off by about lunchtime yesterday, and yeah, that was good to see. Thaw wasn't too nasty. Often with snow, the problem is not the snow. Snow can be quite warm for sheep. It's the thaw and how wet everything gets, but wasn't really enough to cause too much trouble. But I just thought I'd show you. Those two wee lammies there are only like a few hours old, and they're up and going and away. They scan around. There's another newborn set up on top of the hill, so this might get a bit shaky. Just on top of that knob there. They're up and they're going. They're into it. I've been told by a lot of people that these South Downs are, well, not these South Downs in general are very soft and thin-skinned, and they blow away, and yeah. Now, it could be the way they've been fed over winter, because these ewes have been fed exceptionally well. They were quite poor ewes on average at the start of winter, and they've been grass-fed the whole way through, and it's cost a lot of money, but we're going to get that back because they're all works ewes and they're all works lambs. So it's just a wee management thing we're trying to do to bring a little bit more money in earlier. But yeah, I've got to say, they're out of a pretty tough run, to be fair, but they've held up bloody well. Third day of this video, and we have a ewe with 3 lambs. Good on her. Hard case looking little critters too. They're always quite small, but they've got plenty of go to them, so we'll just leave her alone now. I think this girl's had a bit of a rough night. That is a newborn lamb. You can see all the mud she's made down there trying to get it out, but she has got it out. Good girl. That's a ripper of a lamb right there. Saw her sitting there from over the other side of the gully, and I actually thought that's fun, because where she's sitting there, if she had something wrong with her trying to catch her, would not have been an easy job. But quite happy to come over here and see that she's got a great big lamb out. She's doing well, and she's got an udder full of milk, so that lamb should be gone. I would say he'll be in the first draft in late November. Well, there we go, guys. Just had a bit of a count up, and we got 33 ewes out of 207 left to lamb. They've been going for 15 days. They've still got 3 days left in the first cycle. There's always a few days either side of that. I thought these girls weren't going very hard, but the wee lambs are just being born that bloody big, because they've been fed very well over winter, and the ewes are strong enough to push them out that it seems like we've hardly seen a yellow lamb. There's been a wee few, but the more yellow on a lamb when it comes out means the harder the birth has been for the ewe. Doesn't mean it's been disastrously hard, just means she's been slower to push them out. So they're coming out really white, and yeah, that is awesome. Just means we haven't been seeing the lambs as newborn lambs. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is if they lamb at 10 lambs a day, 10 ewes a day for the next 3 days, roughly, that only leaves us with 3 second cycle ewes. There's a couple of wet dries in here, and there's one in that paddock over there, just right there. Wet dries being used that have had a lamb, and for whatever reason, namely snow and heavy rain this time, their lambs haven't survived, and we haven't got any pet lambs to mother onto them, which is the process of taking an orphan lamb and trying to get another ewe to take it. It has a mixed success rate. Sometimes it does work though, and that can be good, because feeding lambs on a bottle or a machine isn't really economical. So yeah, really happy with how this has gone. I just hope I'm not jinxing myself right here, because there's still 3 days to go, and then all the others start, the 2000, and yeah, it could still get ugly. It's going to do what it's going to do. There's nothing we can do to change the weather, but very, very happy with how these girls have gone so far. Well guys, looks like the main line have started lambing. That's a little bit early, but I think they'll be alright. We'll go around everything again this afternoon, and then tomorrow morning we might have to start doing our morning rounds. We'll see how they go. Oh no! There's a New Holland in a workshop! The hell's gone wrong now? Nothing, eh girl? just service time. That's a new toy too. Yep, she's due for a major. Engine, front diff, front hubs, transmission. What else can this girl? That might actually be it. Coolant probably needs done. But I'm going to look into that because I don't know whether it has a inhibitor you can chuck in the coolant. So obviously coolant doesn't lose its anti-freeze, anti-boil ability, but it loses its anti-corrosive properties. Very expensive engine right there. Well, we don't want that rusting out. We may well have this tractor for a long time, so we want to keep that up. But yeah, it could cost $100 for a bottle of inhibitor about that big, or it could cost $400 or $500 for the coolant. I don't know, but we'll find out what the proper way to do it is. And yeah, we got a new toy. Came up on Facebook of all places a wee while ago. So she's got a ram on the drawbar here. This fella here pushes the whole thing back, which tilts it up on those wheels. Come with a cover there. Beautiful setup. Tripping over the drawbar. Electronic drive, heavy rings. There is no slack in this axle. It is awesome. You pick the thing up and it just does not sag. That style seater inside. She's nice and simple, straightforward. There's a wee locking pin in here. So the shaft, this one here, can either turn just this wheel or this one as well. So you're doing Swedes or something, turnips, herbs, you can just run that one and get down to a couple hundred grams to the hectare. Chuck her over on the big one and go up to 200 or 300 kilos to the hectare. These are a great system. Different seed. I think this is, how do I do it? Might have to push that in. I'll work that out another time and show you. I don't want to break anything. But yeah, the electric motor and gearbox just sitting right there. Drives everything. Picks up off that sensor right there. And there's a wee computer that comes with it that controls everything. So calibration is really easy. And you can adjust your seed rate on the fly, which is awesome. So when you're heading down a steep south face or something like that, you've got the option to bump your seed rate up a wee bit, just as long as you remember to bump it back down when you get on the flat again. And also, on off is really easy. You push the button on your computer on your screen and it turns it off. Beeps at you to let you know that it's turned off. Just a slow, quiet, steady beep. And then when you hit the button again, it stops beeping. Unless you're going too slow and it can't register the speed on the sensor, and then it will tell you that, and you've got to go faster. But that's like half a kilometre an hour or something. Had to play with it in the paddock a wee while ago. Anyway, right now, service, this girl. All those C&H boxes, almost all of them are for that tractor. The other ones are for the TM, there's not many of them. That's TM stuff, and yeah. So we've got to go through and make sure we've got all the right filters, and then we'll dump the oil out of her. Right, there you go, the 3 filters we need for the first bit of the job. Fuel, and oil. So let's dump her out. There we go. Right, this could get messy. How do I do this? Hang on a minute, I've got to think for a minute. There we go. Ideal. Didn't really feel like getting hot oil all over my leg. Perfect. Now, one thing with these big girls, I say big, in this country for this sort of stuff, this is a big tractor. I know a lot of the world, this is a small tractor, but it's big for us. These bigger ones have a drive shaft that runs through the middle of the sump. So there's a cavity on both sides. And they've put a drain plug at the other side, which is awesome because most manufacturers wouldn't think to do that. But let's see what comes out of there. Let's see what happens. Please don't lose the bung. Please don't lose it. Sorry, I better show you where we are. Look at that. Quite a bit comes out of there. Bung's there, don't worry. Oh no, that probably wouldn't matter towards the life of the engine if that was left in there. There might have been half a litre or a litre there, but makes me feel a whole lot better getting it out. Got good old strappy oil filter wrench out. Let's see if it helps. Never had a great deal of success with this thing, but oh, look at that. That could not have been easier. Bingo. Come on, there we go. Be hand loose now. Yep. Now a little bit of oil does come out of here, but don't worry, it's a concrete floor covered in dirt, so it's not going to matter. There we go. You might have noticed oil seal still on the filter, and there's no seal on the housing, so that's that problem taken care of. Always something to be mindful of, because if that seal stays on, you put the new seal in, oil's inclined to blow out between the seals and it'll force one out, and then your oil filter's on loose, and that doesn't end well for anyone. Now you might remember back in the autumn we got these 3 drums of oil. We've used probably a quarter of this one, hopefully not more than a quarter. These 2 haven't been touched yet. Don't know whether I'll get the trans done today or whether it'll be another day. We'll do these jobs one at a time so the tractor's not immobilised. The engine is 17 hours overdue, which is 25 hours would be 10%. Well, no, 30 hours would be 10%, so it's about 5% overdue. The trans is also 17 hours overdue, but it's on a 1200 hour service interval, so that's only like 1.5%. So I got a mate is supposed to be coming at some point to do that for me. Just there's a bit involved in those transmissions and they're worth a fortune, and it's probably nothing that can go wrong in doing it, but he is a trained New Holland mechanic, and I kind of hope if something's wrong he might pick up something that I miss, so we'll just see how it goes. 5 litres at a time is quite easy. That pump, I've got one of them for whichever one of these drums we open first. Not too keen on the idea of pumping 140, 150 litres of oil out of a drum with a hand pump. So I think what we'll do on the other pump, somehow make a fitting to go on there that goes on the end of a battery drill, and just crank her over, just nice and slowly, not too fast, and do it that way, with a hose going from that fitting over to the back of the transmission. Anyway, new oil filter going on. Finger in the oil, gonna leave it there, come over to the filter. Nice bit of oil, make sure it's wet the whole way around that seal. There we go. Now we can screw it on. A lot of people have arguments about whether you should pre-fill filters before you put them on the machine. This one sits upside down and doesn't hold any oil in it, so no point there. Nice clean surface, no oil sitting on it. Seal's oiled. Get on there, you. On we go. How tight do we do it up? Bloody hand tight, but only hand tight. Don't ever stick a wrench on a filter to do it up. On a cartridge filter like that anyway. Some you sort of have to. The Colorado's got just a filter that goes inside a housing, then you screw a cap back on. Yeah, that you have to, but not on those tops, because then the next guy can never get them off. Fuel filters. Generally speaking, these are always a little bit more tricky to do. They're not more tricky to do, they stick on harder. So we'll see how we go. Nope, easy as that. Ideal. Let's make a mess. Second one. Aha, doesn't want to go. Oh, have we got diesel on the strap? I hope not. Hang on, give me a minute here. No, we got it. There we go. Right, so after about 5 minutes pumping the air out of this, we have now got fuel up to it. The old TM's far easier to do. You open the bleed screw on the second filter, which on this one is actually this one. The fuel goes to that one first, then to that one. Turn the key on, and the electric pump does the work for you. Not quite so on this girl. Don't know why a priming or a manual priming set up for this, but it works. Can hear the air gurgling away in there. Front diff oil draining. There's the metal on the wee magnet there, there's not much there, so 3,500 hours in this girl. There's not much metal coming off the front diff. Been away, had some lunch, shut up to the neighbours and got a few plastic 44-gallon drums right there in the trailer. Oh, I hate that fat. Just for general stuff around the farm. Anyway, she's had plenty of time to drain, and I've got this little thing that's just turned up in the mail today, which will hopefully make you guys' experience watching these videos a whole lot nicer. So I'm quite conscious of the fact that the audio has been rubbish, especially in windy conditions. So yeah, got a Bluetooth base coming for the other camera too, so I'll be able to get back to using a proper camera instead of just my phone. But yeah, fingers crossed, this sort of thing makes a big difference. So, not much oil draining out of there anymore. You'll never get her all out, but the drips are getting pretty slow. Right, so engine's done. There, front diff, way down in there is done. Got both hubs drained right now. This one here has been draining for a while. Excuse the mess on the tyre, but yeah. So we're going to fill this one back up. The other one's draining. Then we'll move the tractor and fill it up as well. Then we're just going to wait for my mate to come do the trans. I've decided I'm not, probably am able to do it, but just not that confident. I'll go through it with him once. And yeah, next time we'll see what we think. Problem with these hubs is that they're sealed. It's not a problem with the hubs, it's just a problem with filling them with oil. And yes, this cap here is loose. So you think you're pouring oil in, but really, we might be done there, are we? No. I think they hold about 2.5, 3 litres each. But yeah, you gotta see that bubble of air there? You gotta let that back out. Let's see what happens there. No, we're still not full. Will not be far off. I hear a change in noise. There we go, now we're full. Try and catch some of that. Ah, bugger it. Bung, been cleaned up. That one you tighten with a spanner. You can see the oil there is a wee bit discoloured. It was a clear oil they had in it. And they've got brakes in there, so it does get a wee bit dirty. It's not bad when you see it in the end of your finger at all, but not really that ideal. Well, it is ideal. It wouldn't be ideal to leave that in there for 2,400 hours or 1,200 hours, which is why we service them at 600. But for whatever reason, the new genuine oil that I've got in those two new Holland Amber drums over there is red. Don't think it'll matter. It's multi-grade hydraulic transmission oil, so should be sweet. So that right there is how much metal has come out of the inside of the hub in 600 hours. Yeah, I reckon that's probably not bad going. Right, air filter. They are not loose. That comes off there somehow. There we go. I haven't looked at these for quite a while. That one and that one. Very important with these wee ones, the inner air filter, that you never blow them out. Not 100% sure why. I presume they're quite a delicate little membrane in them, and they don't want to be damaged. But yeah, you blow the outside one out, you never blow the inside one out. To be fair, there's a slight discoloration on that one, but I think it's mainly the camera doing that. No, a wee bit. But it hasn't got very dirty, but that is a good thing because it's not supposed to, because this is a final last resort. If something goes wrong with that one, this one here is your last line of defence before your engine gets dusted. So let's get that one in. There we go. And there's the new big sucker. Seems a bit of a shame putting it in now, because yeah, in the next sort of 20-30 years on this tractor, it's going to see a lot of dust, but it's there to do a job. Sorry, I'll get the camera facing where we are. Very, very tight fit over that inner air filter there. There we go. It looks pretty good. All done. Now, there's one other set of filters on tractors that often gets forgotten and could be said are the most important ones in the machine. That's right, people. Cabin filters. Change your bloody cabin filters, would you? Stop being such a miserable tight ass. Look how nice and clean that is now. I should probably get the cobwebs out of there, but they'll be right. We turnbuckle up. There we go. Now let's have a look at the old one. That's the bit that goes over the top of it. Yeah, that's pretty dusty. But look at this. Man, that's filthy. This side looks alright. We're breathing that shit, guys. Yeah, I know. It did a pretty good job at filtering, but she chokes up the whole system. And yeah, I'd be surprised if they've even changed. Well, righto guys, there's 7 filters, about 40 odd litres of oil, and yeah, she's good to go, apart from that transmission, which has 2 filters and about 140 litres of oil from memory last time I helped the mechanic fill it up. Nice wee set of twins right there. Tell you what guys, she's some day out here today. Check that out, would you? Whew! What a way to finish the day. Right guys, I think we might leave this there. We're just going to go check everything tonight. I think tomorrow we're going to start our twice a day rounds. We'll see how that goes. There's a few more ewes lambing in the main lot, so they're obviously going to get into it, and yeah, we need to keep an eye on that. So yeah, until next time, we'll catch you later.